ladies and gentlemen, who knew I would be living in a day where I get to continue my coverage of Hunter x Hunter? Many of you were here not too long ago, and I say not too long, but it was actually like a good maybe a month and a half, where I finally caught up to where Hunter x Hunter was back in 2025. And now here we are about to see the newest chapter of Hunter x Hunter. And it looks like Hunter x Hunter is going to be dropping on Sundays, so this is going to be the new time when we react to all things Hunter x Hunter as we continue where we left off of chapter 410. Let's begin. Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here with my last manga reaction for the day. Then I got an anime reaction to do, and then I'm basically, oh snap, I forgot to turn on low latency. No, I forgot. So things I say now is going to be slightly delayed. I am so sorry. I forgot to switch that back. Because that was still the same when I was reacting to the manga regularly. That's on me. I'm sorry about that, folks. And you won't let me see people over in the chat. Ah, annoying. There we go. But it's going to be low latency, so my responses won't be as responsive as they were before. I forgot that this is what it was set to when I was reacting to the last 10 chapters that we got a while back. So I'll set that for next time, which will be next Sunday. Last we left out on in the world of Hunter x Hunter, Benjamin has been working on trying to kill the other princes, including introducing basically a virus that can kill them. However, apparently this virus has gotten loose, and Benjamin himself has apparently become affected, and now, he's trying to, get some members of the Zodiacs to allow him the ability to initiate martial law on the giant cruise ship heading towards the dark continent, and it looks like he may not have enough time left, but he's trying to kill the other princes quickly. So, because it looks like he only got like a good 24 hours. Because in the last chapter, chapter 410, Mizai is speaking to him saying, like, first, can you provide your basis for declaring martial law? Like, if I go back, yeah, Benjamin is there in front of the Zodiacs, and everyone has weapons drawn, going, I am Benjamin, Deputy Chief Counsel. Without further ado, at the Central Court, I will consolidate all three branches of government by military force, and we are taking over this building as our joint force command center. You three will be my witnesses. Then Mizai says, first, can you provide your basis for declaring martial law and the letter of authorization from the king? And going through yada yada yada, he's trying to really insinuate that it's the prince's fault that all this virus stuff has happened. Sorry, this is Hunter x Hunter. It requires a recap. All for the purpose of taking over the ship and initiating martial law so he can have free reign to do whatever he wants. And Botobai looks at him and goes, you look rather pale. Are you alright? And then Benjamin says, there's no problem at all. And then the lawyer guy that's working with Melody and Cacho, he goes, if Benjamin is pushing so hard because he himself has been infected, considering Hulkenberg's progression, he has 24 hours at most. If we can somehow stave this off for one more day, we'll be able to see the light. I still have my final stronghold, and it is approximately 40 minutes into special martial law. And that was the last chapter we got of Hunter x Hunter, essentially since 2024. It has been 2.5 years since we got a new chapter of Hunter x Hunter. So now let's see what happens on June 28th of 2026. And it's a colored page of Serate Nietzsche. Chapter 411, Announcement. CDs, it's good to see you. It's about to go down. Hunter x Hunter has returned. And we get the big subordinate the main right-hand man of Benjamin going, Ninth Prince Hulkenberg's funeral procession will depart here at 1 p.m. and is scheduled to arrive at the Tier 1 funeral hall at 2 p.m. The will stated that the princes will be exempt from the farewell send-off in consideration of the succession battle. Day 12. We're not even 2 full weeks into this cruise and so much has happened. This is day 12 on a Thursday at 8 a.m. in the Ministry of Justice. I shall return after his personal guards have been disbanded and reassigned below Tier 2. Well done. Thank you. Yes, sir. Mind you, this is the same subordinate whose body has been pretty much taken over by Hulkenberg, because Hulkenberg essentially used his own Nen ability to take over his body. And the person who died in Hulkenberg's place was actually the subordinate. He basically switched bodies with people. So Hulkenberg is still in possession of this guy's body. How is 11th Prince Fugetsu?
Sleeping soundly.
Remember, Kacho died because the elements of the succession battle essentially killed Kacho, and because of that, the Nen ability of the Guardian Beast of Kacho turned into Kacho in order to, keep Fugetsu from going insane. But Fugetsu has been behaving erratically because the Nen ability of Kacho transferred over to Fugetsu. And she is not exactly fine. And I just realized that I forgot to turn this stupid ad thing off in the middle of it. I am so sorry I forgot to do that. I literally forgot to do that. It's not supposed to be on. Not for Hunter x Hunter. I am so sorry. I forgot. Okay. Back to where it's supposed to be. All right. My bad. So Fugetsu is still really out of it. How is 11th Prince Fugetsu?
Sleeping soundly.
And then Melody.
No wonder. She needs to rest until she recovers enough to wake up on her own. Am I the one making her expend excess energy? Listen to me. Never think that way. Fugetsu needs you. She won't last without you.
Whether 9th Prince Hulkenberg got himself killed or was assassinated by 1st Prince Benjamin, his funeral will be grand and solemn as not to offend the people. We'll wait and see until the funeral is over and hope it ends smoothly. Meanwhile, we should prepare ourselves for whatever comes next. And then we're cutting to a completely different room. Pretty much more than likely one of the rooms belonging to that one chick. It's been a while since I interacted with Hunter x Hunter. I didn't even bother looking up the name of that one crazy chick that literally encourages people to kill other people so they can grow in power and Nen ability. But we got this dude standing in a room, and he's just looking at his face, and he wipes away all this makeup he has on, and his face is bare. And he starts putting different types of makeup on, and he basically physically changes his appearance. And he pretends to be a maid. He's pretending to be a maid. He's literally pretending to be a maid.
Oh my, that's some makeover.
You've gone senile, Granny. This is who I really am, and the other one is my persona as captain. Right! Hold on! This is the captain that the soldiers were talking to. When your girl was taken by the, Moor something. There's so many names I've forgotten yet that I can't remember any of them at all.
That's a makeover.
You've gone senile, Granny. This is who I really am, and the other one is my persona as captain.
Oh, just keep telling yourself that. The 9th Prince's death has greatly altered the situation. Are you still going with the plan?
Yes. Finding the exorcist is necessary, so I want to expose them ASAP. It's better if there aren't any. Right, this isn't a dude, this is the captain, she's a woman.
It's better if there aren't any, but we have to assume there is and search accordingly. We need to tailor our response to the kind of exorcist we find. How many days do you need to accumulate the curse for the 14th prince?
Because remember, there's a lot of people who serve under Benjamin whose specific purpose is to constantly curse their target so that if they die, their curse is strong enough to literally kill their target.
How many days do you need to accumulate the curse for the do you need to accumulate the curse for the 14th prince? A whole week. If we're in different rooms and I can't see them. If I get lucky, they let their guard down and I get close enough, I'll kill her on the spot. In that case, have Kako take over for me. Okay, here I go.
And then we get to room 1014, which is the room of Prince Wobble. You know, the prince that Karapika is in charge of watching over. And then, of course, we have the two subordinate flunkies of Benjamin, and of course, this fake maid who's here to kill the curse and kill the prince. And we have Karapika standing there. And we're back inside of the workshop still. Workshop, second round, current participants, 18. Based on the results of the previous round, a plurality? Plurality. Hunter, can we talk real quick? Can we just talk real quick? It just shows you how little I know of the English language, because some of these words I have never heard of.
A plurality of participants requested we continue with the lessons. I've decided to increase class size and split it into an introductory class. Introductory. See what I mean? English. It makes me work. I've decided to increase class size and split it into an introductory class and a beginner class. I will have the intro class be able to use Nen within 2 weeks. That's my guarantee, just like last time.
Then we got the other dudes who are watching. Which one of us watches over the intro class? Are you sure you don't need a primer? Oh wait, which one of us watches over the intro class?
You, of course. The prince thinks you need it.
Are you sure you don't need a primer?
No, seriously, you need it. I promised the beginner class, and this is Karapika again. I promised the beginner class that you will master the basics of one of the 4 exercises per week. Furthermore, in the intro class only, I plan to allow an extra student per prince for the princes whose agendas align with ours. Please confirm over the phone whether they desire to fill the extra slot. The beginner class will be a month long, but you can drop out at any time, of course.
The basics of the 4 exercises in 1 month? That's an unthinkable pace under normal training, but it's not impossible, with a literal kickstart to the process. If the succession battle stalemate continues for another month, the beginners will become bona fide Nen users. They would no longer be defenseless cannon fodder. Because that's the whole goal of Benjamin, just basically kill everyone and become the king. Doesn't matter what innocent lives are kind of swept up in it, he really doesn't care. He's increasing the number of recruits. In addition to equalizing military strength, it'll spread out the guards in the other princes' quarters and induce the succession battle as a whole toward a more defensive contest.
Mr. Belair?
Bellarante, Hunter, 13th Prince's Guard.
Didn't people get murdered during the previous workshop? And they still haven't found who did it. Will we be safe this time?
Honestly, I don't know, but I don't think they'll go after you. Do let me know right away if you see a girl in a mask. And then everyone's whispering to each other.
Does it feel like your skin is cleared up? And my shoulders are less stiff?
Ilaria, 11th Prince's Servant, beginner class.
I know. I still get tired, but I feel more energized.
Ladiolus, 11th Prince's Servant, beginner class.
Sixth Prince Seiko keeps denying it, but if the soldiers try to seal the area, then 10th Prince Gacho is no longer. Shh! We just do as we're told.
Roccoli, or Roccoli, 10th Prince's servant, and Yuri, 10th Prince's servant beginner class. If the extra person we're bringing is a god like Gato, it must mean then it's that powerful. Yes, 7th Prince Loserus desires to watch and wait until the trouble with the Mafia has settled down. This grace period is a great opportunity for us. We're getting reintroduced to everybody. We're with second, why? Right, because it's been 2 years and a half. People would forget who everyone is. We're with Second Queen Duazul now, but no matter which prince becomes king, all of us will face restructuring. Satobi, 7th Prince's Guard beginner class. Gaining this skill will significantly impact our options. Yes, and it would be valuable to get in contact with 2nd Prince Camilla's personal guards here. Javietti, 7th Prince's Guard. She's one of the maids, right? She could be a spy. Looking directly at Sarahel. Sarahel.
14th Prince Wobble is in the master bedroom. I'm closer than I thought. I might be able to get my hands on something she used, so 5 days may be enough.
Sarahel, 2nd Prince's Captain of the Guards. More people. Along with the joint declaration of surrender with 5th Prince to Beppa, this is a strategy to induce chaos, and defend via obfuscation. Obfuscation. 10th Tori, 3rd Prince's Personal Guard beginner class. It's unwise to reduce personnel in room 1003 any further, Your Highness. We could always invite Prince Wobble's party to dinner after the workshop is over.
We'd rather not have it reported to First Prince Benjamin that we've become good friends.
I've been waiting for this answer. The Mafia will take care of the armed conflict again anyway. I don't need to share this special ability with any more rivals in this rat race. I understand. Then leave things to us. Sakata is here anyway. We could get him to take the class. And Sakata is there too. I may be prepared to use Nen, but I'm still basically powerless against First Prince Benjamin's personal guards. All I can do is keep improving myself and highlight our collaboration with Zhonglei to Benjamin. Benjamin's personal guards must have noticed the appearance of 5th Prince Tupeppa's Nen Beast. This will act as a deterrent for a while. In the meantime, we'll invite Karapika over for training. I can't be choosy if the prince is in danger. Mayor, 5th Prince's Captain of the Guards beginner class. 3rd Prince. That's Zhonglei. Sorry. I understand to leave things, yes. Sakata is here anyway. We could get him to take the class. So that is supposed to be for Zhonglei. But Karapika is looking out at everyone.
Hulkenberg is dead. The prince whom I hoped to make my stepping stone to connect with Saraidnich.
Because remember, Karapika knows that Saraidnich is in hands of the final eyes of the Kurta clan.
We never found out the secret to the ability that produced that tremendous rumbling. He didn't die of illness. He must have been assassinated. And right before the trial with Benjamin. It's obvious, but there won't be any proof. I'm not keen on it, but I must consider using the truth of his death as a starting point to instigate the general public into chaos. He was a deterrent for the higher princes and a symbol of hope for the lower princes. Just having his personal guards in the room produced the right amount of tension mixed with a sense of security. Now that it's gone, I wanted to stoke the uncertainty felt by the higher-ranked princes, even if doing so increases risk. But no other prince would want to send more of their people to room 1014.
And mind you, Sarahel is kind of just staring off into the distance kind of weirdly. I'm Gipper, assigned to Tier 1 to replace Borkson. Is there anything to take note of for taking on Muhan's role? Yeah, don't die. If more of us get killed, the prince won't stay silent. and he'll stop blaming me. And just when his attention had been pulled away from me. Because the dude doesn't want to be bothered by anybody. Dan Karapika continues. So, we'll begin with 9 in the intro class and 9 in the beginner class. Divide into the 2 groups.
I'd rather be here than keep taking the 6.
Cursing out the 6 princes.
I'd rather be here than keep taking the 6th abuse.
Liz Lura, 10th prince's servant.
I don't like it, but anything to help 6th Queen Seiko. Let's work hard. If I can really get superhuman powers, I'll be more useful for 11th Prince Fugetsu. I'll be able to fight too.
Tone Easter, 11th prince's servant. We're getting introduced to a lot of servants in this chapter. Tone Easter, 11th prince's servant.
I'm scared. I don't want to do this. I want to go back to room 1013.
Naipei, 13th prince's servant. Just focus on learning. Just focus on leaning Nen. Learning. I think it should be learning. Well, the Hunter grammar errors have returned after 2 years. Just focus on leaning Nen. Sorry, I still say how it looks. Just focus on learning Nen, huh? Gato, 7th Prince's Guard. Yes, avoid going off on your own. Waiting it out is a way for us to safely and surely improve our status. You mean you, not us. The princes keep dying and our target is a freaking baby. How long could it take? What idiot would pass up this chance? It's a path to a sure promotion. If the snake charmer is among us and attacks another one of Sir Aidnich's personal guards, we may go to court. Is there a slight possibility Sir Aidnich would appear himself? Those in the intro class, clasp your hands any way you want. For the beginner class, I'm passing out a black piece of paper. Can I say something? And then someone raises his hand. I'm Slacka, affiliated with Second Queen Duazul. I want to join the intro class. Slacka, 3rd Prince's Guard. And everyone's looking, going, what is he thinking? I don't mind. And this is Karapika saying that he doesn't mind. Affiliated with Queen Duazul, so your 2nd Prince Camilla's I can't even say Royal Guard. So your 2nd Prince Camilla's Royal Guard? No. 3rd Prince Zhonglei's Guard. If I'm going to stand here, I might as well learn something. Zhonglei, the watchdog for a low-ranked prince, left his post? That's unthinkable. Is he here monitoring to gain something important? If they're going to leave us out of the loop, we should reconsider the treaty. You idiot! You're giving them unnecessary information. Is he trying to destroy the relationship we're trying to build? And then Slacka looks over at the guy. And then smirks, because he knows what he's doing is wrong. He's doing this on purpose. Last time, they took advantage of me being hands-off and snuck around making backroom deals. If they're keeping this information on Nen that could sway the succession battle all to themselves, I ain't playing along with this we're all buddies charade. Good grief. As some of you may have noticed, he's here under special circumstances. To find out important information on Nen that could affect the results of the Battle of Succession. Oh, snap! Karapika's just putting that information out there. He's all like, you ain't gonna be slick. You're trying to stow the pot. So let me be the one that takes the ladle and stirs the entire pot. I said stoles the pot, like, stir the pot. But let me just go ahead and put it out on blast so you don't have any reason to try and be sneaky. Let me go ahead and expose your mind. As some of you may have noticed, he's here under special circumstances. To find out important information on Nen that could affect the results of the Battle for Succession. Now is as good a time as any for the announcement. I'd like to talk about it right here and now. And then Karapika gets everyone's attention with it. Wait, hold on, that's not a good idea. You were going to use that information to your advantage. Is that what you mean? I'm afraid it's not that kind of information. And then he's kind of dude's looking kind of confused. My wording seems to have caused a misunderstanding. I apologize. I'm sorry it was possible to interpret what I said to mean only the prince who had the information would benefit. It, wait a minute. How else were we supposed to take it? Allow me to explain. And then Karapika explains the deal. On this ship, we're in the middle of a succession battle to determine the next king of Kakin, an aberrant process where the sole survivor inherits the throne, which begs the basic question, why go to such lengths? And then, of course, those attending all get silent, especially those with ulterior motives. The cause they're fighting for, needless to say, is for the prosperity of a nation, Kakin, a king to lead more than 1 billion people. The ritual to facilitate this decision has a more than adequate mandate to go to such lengths. Nen further maximized the results and validated the ritual. That's how it all began. The use of a Nen ability, with its vows and limitations, empowered the leadership of the next king, because they triumphed through such a brutal competition. It virtually guaranteed prosperity for the next generation. Nen is that powerful. When I say vows and limitations, this is a key aspect of Nen. When Nen is brought to bear using strict rules that put people at great risk, the power of the effect is multiplied exponentially. The act of sacrificing the lives of kin down to a single successor demonstrates considerable determination and carries the risk of wiping out the entire clan. And that's the level of determination required to demonstrate the intent of going through with the ritual. We've only reached the second phase of this process. There are 4 phases of this ritual, which, powered by Nen, make up the battle for succession. I'm so glad these are on Sundays instead of Thursdays because those read-throughs were long. Dedication and prayer to the gods. Making an offering to the gods. A celebration of the spirits of the dead. Theocracy, the unity of state sacrifice and governance. Prayer for national prosperity and pledge a vow. Sacrifice the lives of kin as testament to their commitment. Gather together the bodies of the princes who died and form a sacred energy convergence. With the massive power generated, administer the affairs of state. It's critical that the succession proceed the way it does. Without these risks, the new leadership would lack the necessary power for governance, meaning sufficient Nen to maintain the spirit beast of a king worthy of leading the people of Kakin. This limitation is the important information that will affect the results of the battle for succession. It will take 2 months for the black whale to arrive at the new continent, and 12 days have already passed. We have a month and a half left. The ceremony in which the current king will formally announce which prince will succeed him is scheduled for right after we disembark. The deadline for resolving the succession battle is the end of the voyage. Determining the successor within that time is non-negotiable. If there is no sole survivor by the deadline and the ritual fails to be completed, the Huigo-Ro family will fall from power. And that's pretty much the information that Karapika has gathered. Fall from power? A change of government? He was about to say dictatorship. The ability to adapt through the ages and manipulate the masses are enhanced by Nen. Without this, it would be inevitable. Wouldn't the risk be greater if failing to meet the deadline resulted in everyone's death instead? Why a fall from power, not annihilation? The concept of a sole survivor already fulfills the vow to put lives on the line. Depriving all choices during the ritual would be enforcement. That's the opposite of a Nen limitation. A choice must be left open for them to not carry out the ritual to completion. It's part of the risk that more than one prince is allowed to survive. Leaving this avenue for the weaker participants puts the ritual itself in a vulnerable position. This way, the risk that the ruler may fall to ruin is hidden in the time limit. And Karapika, and mind you, is it just one chapter or several? Nope, it's just one. It is just one. We're back to just singular chapters. The way I was reading it before was literally just an amalgamation of all the chapters that we had. But no, this is just one chapter, and we're getting another one chapter next week. Leaving this avenue for the weaker participants puts the ritual itself in a vulnerable position. This way, the risk that the ruler may fall to ruin is hidden in the time limit. And of course, one of the guards who was sent by Benjamin for the sole purpose of killing the other prince goes, "You're bringing this up? You're basically egging us on to hurry up and kill these lower princes." And then there's muttering amongst everyone. And then Karapika goes, "And one more thing. I have another crucial announcement. 14th Prince Wobble is not eligible for the succession battle." And this shocks everyone, at least those who don't know. And mind you, we have the queen in the room with Wobble, and mind you, while Wobble, she's asleep right now, the queen is just wide awake. Another thing, Queen Oito. Sorry, I just remembered her name, Queen Oito. She's awake. And also, she is starting to learn how to awaken her own Nen ability. So that's another thing. And that is a to be continued. So first things first. Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter x Hunter is back. And I can say I can read every chapter that comes out when it comes out. Is it out? The newest chapter is out on Viz right now. It is out on Viz right now. And we're not going on another break again. We're getting another chapter next Sunday. I just finished reading myself. I just finished reading. And I am happy to be reading a brand new... I can finally say I not only caught up to Hunter x Hunter in its entirety with all of you, but now we can read these new chapters together as they come out. I'm happy about it. Now, this is a trademark chapter of Hunter x Hunter. We get other guards and everyone else speaking to each other, making their plans. Just sling out like Oprah giving away cars. You get a car, you get a car, everyone gets a car, and I get a tax cut because of all the cars that I give out. How about you give your brother? How about you give a brother like an all expenses paid vacation to Nassau again, to Half Moon Cay? I wouldn't mind going there again. Since you feel so giving, Oprah, why don't you just lend a brother a hand? She's never going to see this, but this is basically a chapter showing everyone in their plans, such as the subordinate that serves Benjamin, who's actually dead, and Hulkenberg is basically fully taken over his body. Because Hulkenberg's body is dead, but Hulkenberg literally transferred his soul over to the right-hand man of Prince Benjamin. So he's still in there. And mind you, with the way he's behaving, I feel like Benjamin still has his suspicions, so Hulkenberg is behaving like his own subordinate right now. So I feel like Benjamin is still watching him. Then we get one of the soldiers that serves under Benjamin, whose specific purpose in life is to literally center on a prince. Center on a prince, and then curse them so that the moment they die, the curse they created for this prince will kill that prince. And this is the same captain that was speaking to some of the soldiers in some of the previous chapters, where one of them, Borkson, was basically taken by a girl, the crazy girl with a scar over her face, who really wants to just kill everyone, just murder everyone on the ship, having her faction basically go throughout the ship committing murders and, gaining power in the process, literally solo leveling the entire ship just for the distinct purpose of basically destroying everything that the princes stand for. But the captain of Borkson's team, she goes and poses as a maid in order for the distinct purpose of getting close to Prince Wobble so that she can curse her, and then when she dies, her curse will kill Prince Wobble. So that's what's going on here. And so it's literally her whole purpose for being here, just posing as a maid so she can get close to the prince so she can kill her. Then we get Karapika, who's still doing the workshop. And by far, whenever it comes to Karapika talking about this workshop where he's training all these people on how to use Nen, including some people who are just distinctly here to find an excuse to murder everyone here. Because the two guards that come from Benjamin, they are literally, just to remind you, they're only here to supervise. And if there's anything nefarious going on or stuff that they don't like, or if they don't learn anything, Benjamin literally told them, if you do not learn anything beneficial within this time frame of the workshop that's going on, kill everyone in the room. You can kill everyone. And some of them have been trying to instigate situations that will make them liable, like give them the authority to kill everyone in the room. Granted, this is sort of squashed by Kurapika because Kurapika is literally one of the smartest characters in the entire series. Does he know everything? No, but he picks up quickly and thus is able to basically flip a situation if people try to turn it in their favor. It's happened ever since we got on this ship. So, Kurapika is dividing people into different groups, introductory classes and beginner classes for people to learn Nen. Among this group is the same maid who wants to get close to the soldier of Prince Benjamin's group, who wants to get close to Prince Wobold in order to kill her, including the two guards from Benjamin, who, if they don't learn anything beneficial with Nen, then they get to kill everyone in the room, including other representatives of princes who could not come, who are there to get information and gather it for themselves for their own reasons and own purposes. And Kurapika is really taking this time to just, I won't say he's dragging things out, but he is definitely keeping people's attention because he's not throwing all of his cards on the table. Question about Kurapika. He can't kill no one outside of the troop. True, his Nen abilities, the vast amount of his Nen abilities for killing can only be used on the Phantom Troop. They can't be used on another person. Otherwise, his Nen ability, the risk that he talked about, the risk that he put on himself, say it's like JJK, a binding vow, a vow he put on himself is that these Nen abilities would only be used against the spiders. So when he was when he killed Eugen, not Eugen, but Uvo. When he killed Uvo, it worked because it was a member of the spiders. What if there's an enemy that intends to kill him? Why do I have a feeling him teaching people Nen? I feel he will have to them do the killing for him. I mean, Kurapika is well aware of the limitations of his own Nen abilities. Yes, he can use some abilities, but only when it comes to, detecting lies and whatnot. However, when it comes to combative, restrictive, and, killing abilities, those are specifically only for members of the Phantom Troop and only them. Only them. But anyone else, he can't use his Nen abilities against them because in order for him to, the caveat to him being able to access any category of Nen with 100% efficiency is literally he can only use that sort of ability against the spiders themselves, against the Phantom Troop themselves. He can't just go into being a specialist or being an emitter or a transmuter or conjurer or an enhancer. He can't use any of those in combat except for only against the Phantom Troop. And since Kurapika has been on this ship, he has not been in a situation that would actually require him to do any of that. Because all he's been doing is talking, planning, and basically just keeping these people invested with just his words alone. Kurapika, since this arc started, has been talk no jutsuing himself through every situation. And he's avoided conflict because of it. He's literally talked no jutsu himself for the past 3 years. If we're going by how long these chapters were, for the last 3 years, he's been talk no jutsuing himself out of every situation that could have resulted in a confrontation, all the way up even to now. Gotcha, that was something that bothered you for years? No worries. I got enough memory stored up here about Hunter x Hunter for you to fully know. It's all good. I got you, CDs. I got you, brother. I got you. But so and mind you, everyone has their own ulterior motives. We get introduced to some new people and reintroduced to some people because, granted, This is the first chapter in first brand new chapter in 2.5 years. And not everyone may have reread through the entirety of Hunter x Hunter like I did in order to get prepared for potential new chapters coming out. Because I knew the chapter was going to be coming out. I learned about it last week. And at that point, it was like middle of the week and it said 6 days. Didn't know that it was going to drop on Sunday. I thought maybe like later on in the day or something, later on in the week or something. But yeah, it's here on Sunday. So that's a thing. But we get introduced and reintroduced to so many people in this arc. Just to remind you who's who, especially if you hadn't read the manga in God knows how long. Unless that is his plan, knowing he has a limit and he's using his SP called Friendly Aura and gain respect from people and side with him. I mean, he's very carefully planning and he's doing a good job because he's capable of having people speak to him in a way where they don't immediately kill him and they actually consider his words. So Kurapika is I'm not going to say he's very charismatic, but his words and the way he delivers them are in such a way that people don't immediately dismiss him. When it comes to a mishap that happens to Kurapika, it is usually the result of other people doing some unexpected stuff, like that one maid who said, "Oh, it's this one prince that wants to talk to you on the phone," only she lied and he picked up the phone and it was a completely different prince, not the prince that not the prince that he wanted to talk to, but a completely different one. And the maid only did it for selfish reasons, basically to save her own skin. So when it comes to situations like that, it's not the fault of Kurapika, but the people around him who have ulterior motives. That isn't Bill or Queen Oito or anyone that is actually genuinely close to Kurapika. I mean, I'm just going to say it's pretty much the only people who are really close to Kurapika in this situation is Bill and Queen Oito. The maids are kind of iffy. All the other guards who serve all the other princes, they're pretty much off the table. Even the ones who said like, "Oh, let's reach a good deal so that we princes," like the guards of Tupepa and the guards of Zhangle, they all have their own ulterior motives. They're only there to learn and get information that can benefit them. They really don't care about the whole situation with Prince Wobble until, Kurapika says that Prince Wobble is unable to take part in the succession battle. So while we get introduced to everyone and everyone is giving their own thoughts and their own opinions, where's the two knuckleheads at? Which knuckleheads? If you're talking about the two guards of Benjamin, they're there. Like the one with the long beard that goes down, Gon and Killua. They're not in the story right now. Gon and Killua's story is pretty much done right now. We're focusing on Kurapika and heading to the Dark Continent. We've gone from being about Gon and Killua to being about Kurapika and Leorio, because Leorio is also on this ship, as is pretty much all of the Zodiacs, because they're there and not only to, fulfill their roles, but also keep an eye on Beyond as well. But Gon and Killua, they're not part of this story right now. They're off having their own adventures, but it literally doesn't. I mean, they've been gone, brother. The last time when I was reading through Hunter x Hunter and we were just focusing on Kurapika and this ship, they've been gone for a minute. They've been gone for a minute. They've been gone. But one of the guards tries to make it loud and try and ruin the atmosphere by saying like, if I'm gonna stand here, I might as well learn something. And dude goes, "The last time they took advantage of me being hands off and snuck around making backroom deals. If they're keeping this information on Nen, that could sway the succession battle all to themselves. I ain't playing along with this we're all buddies charade." So Kurapika sees that he's trying to start something, so he just exposes it and says, "As some of you may have noticed, he's here under special circumstances to find out important information on Nen that could affect the results of the Battle of Succession." Literally his very thoughts, and Kurapika just exposes him right there. Right then and there. Now is as good a time as any for the announcement. I'd like to talk about it right here and now. And then everyone's all like, "Wait, that's not a good idea." And Kurapika's all like, "You were going to use that information to your advantage. Is that what you mean? I'm afraid it's not that kind of information." And then he just explains explains what he believes the entire succession battle is and what it represents for the entire ship, such as the Nen ability necessary for a king to lead billions of lives, and the ritual itself that decides who is going to succeed, but also the risk that such a ritual carries that also says, like, those who are unfit, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to die. But those who are willing to kill their own kin shows their determination and willingness to go to as many lengths and as much lengths as possible in order to be seen as the worthy king of the nation. And of course, there are 4 phases of the ritual, and we are currently in phase 2. There are 4 phases of this ritual, which, powered by Nen, make up the battle for succession. Meditate, dedication, and prayer to the gods, making an offering to the gods. That's phase 1. A celebration of the spirits of the dead, and theocracy, the unity of state, sacrifice, and governance. That's another one. Prayer for national. Well, actually, hold on. Sorry, it goes dedication and prayer to the gods, making an offering to the gods, prayer for national prosperity and pledge a vow, sacrifice the lives of kin as testament to their commitment. That is where we're in right now. I read it wrong originally. I read it just like right to left, but the arrows point down to where it's supposed to go. So it's dedication and prayer to the gods, making an offering to the gods. Phase 1 is already over. Phase 2 is pray for national prosperity and pledge a vow, and sacrifice the lives of kin as testament to their commitment. That is currently phase 2. That's where we're in. Phase 3 would be a celebration of the spirits of the dead, and theocracy, the unity of state and state sacrifice and governance. That's phase 3. Phase 4, and the last one, would be gather together the bodies of the princes who died and form a sacred energy convergence. With the massive power generated, administer the affairs of state, which will be the final phase. It's critical that the succession proceed the way it does. Without these risks, the new leadership would lack the necessary power for governance, meaning sufficient Nen to maintain the spirit beast of a king worthy of leading the people of Kakin. This limitation is the important information that will affect the results of the battle for succession. It will take 2 months. Mind you, it's been 2 years since we had a new chapter. It will take 2 months for the Black Whale to arrive at the new continent, and 12 days have already passed. We have a month and a half left. The ceremony in which the current king will formally announce which prince will succeed him is scheduled for right after we disembark. The deadline for resolving the succession battle is the end of the voyage. Determining the successor within that time is non-negotiable. If there is no sole survivor by the deadline and the ritual fails to be completed, the Huigoro family will fall from power. A choice must be left open for them to not carry out the ritual to completion. It's part of the risk that more than one prince is allowed to survive. Leaving this avenue for the weaker participants puts the ritual itself in a vulnerable position. This way, the risk that the ruler may fall to ruin is hidden in the time limit. And then, of course, we have the big announcement that 14th Prince Wobble is not eligible for the succession battle. So that is definitely going to put a wrench in the plans of those who are specifically there to kill Prince Wobble, or at least eradicate every single one of the other princes. Having one that is not eligible for the succession battle could, hopefully, in Karapika's eyes, alleviate the concern of actual people coming there to kill her. But then again, we got some bloodthirsty people who have no problem killing kids. So, who knows if this information is actually going to sway the minds of those who are actually there to kill Prince Wobble, or just kill everyone in general if they don't learn anything new in this Nen class. Do you think the creator is doing what Oda is doing, long-term story? Brother, what you mean do you think this author is doing what Oda is doing in a long-term story? Brother, did you forget the last time we got a Hunter x Hunter chapter was back in 2024? Another thing that we also need to consider here is the fact that the reason why we went on such a long break was because the author's health was not in the best state. Like, it was really bad. Like, I'm going on a break because I am not healthy and it hurts and it's putting like my story at risk. Because if I go to like the first chapter came out in 2022. Yeah, he was sick. The author was sick. Where would it show the date? Where would it show the date? Yeah. Yeah. It was back in 2022. Your brain was, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. But I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to say that Yoshihiro uh, is trying to turn this into like a super long term story. But it's another thing to consider the fact that, I mean, this story has been going on for a good hot minute. It's been going on for a while. But also we need to consider the fact that 2022. Well, I go down to chapter one and it says 2022. So that might have been the day they added Hunter x Hunter to Viz, and not necessarily the day that it actually came out. Because I know Hunter x Hunter is way older than that because the anime came out in 2011. So Hunter x Hunter is way older than that. I might just be looking at the date that they added the chapters to Viz. So that's on me. So I apologize for that. Hold on. Thank God I know how to type fast. Hunter x Hunter. This started in 1998. Yeah, 1998. Just a year after One Piece started. Yeah, a year after One Piece started. So these stories have been going on for a hot minute. However, Oda has had considerably less breaks. But this story has been ongoing. It's just that we took that 2 year break just for the health of the author, which is extremely important. But that's where we're at right now. And we're getting another chapter. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm back. But with this newest chapter, Hunter x Hunter is officially back after 2 long years, 2.5 long years, and we're still continuing with Kurapika, but Kurapika is letting all this information come out. And now we're going to see how people are going to respond since all of this information has been officially exposed. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to reacting to Hunter x Hunter for all of you next week. Next week is going to be easier because after I get done reacting to the new anime episode of One Piece, we're currently going to go on break because this is a seasonal anime now. One Piece is now a seasonal anime. So I get a break from anime reactions on Sundays, meaning that manga reactions will be a little bit smoother. So we'll see how things go from here. But to everyone here right now, welcome back to Hunter x Hunter, fresh and new. Chapters are back and I'm ready to dive back into this story. No more long read-throughs. We got full-on chapters now. I'm done for today, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even check out, and only if what I did here today was worthy of your time, check out my membership or my Patreon because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples! I'm gonna try and look professional hitting the button.